What is up? Welcome back to another video on the Braxton YouTube channel. I'm Braxton, your host, and today, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about the Silver Dollar City Ultimate Guide. Now, let me just start with this. There are a couple Ultimate Guides out there on YouTube, and let's just say they're done by people, like no discriminating or anything, but they're done by people that don't go there as often as me. Now, I go there at least 2 or 3 times a week. Like, I'm not lying. I go there all the time. So I know, like, every single, like, time, date, rides to go to, rides not to go to, when to use the Trailblazers. I know everything. So in this video, I am going to be helping you out on that stuff. And telling you about all the stuff to do, which is including the rides, foods, the times to get there, what time of the year, and transportation, and parking, and all that stuff. So, if you are going to Silver Dollar City soon, or you're planning on making a trip sometime next year, or whenever, watch this video, and watch it till the end, so you know everything to do with Silver Dollar City, and to be a pro. So the first part of the video is we're going to be talking about the times. So I'm not specifically just talking about like the time, like what time it is. I'm also talking about the time of the year. So what month you should go in? Well, I'm just going to start with the Halloween season and fall season is always so busy with the pumpkin nights and the fall festivals and the harvest festival. And also, during Christmas time, they have the Christmas fest and stuff, and that is the busiest time of the year is Christmas. And crowds can get really high in the summer during summer nights and spring festival too. So, my favorite time of the year to go, if you're not looking for busy lines, is the spring. Especially if you go on a weekday, which we'll talk about later. But, it's the perfect weather. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's just spring weather. It's so nice. And usually all the rides are open during spring. Maybe not some of the water rides, but usually all of them are open. Now we're going to talk about what days to go. If you're not looking for lines, we should go somewhere Monday through Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are really busy, and now Mondays are starting to get busier because a lot of schools are getting off Mondays now, and so it gets really busy, and there's a lot of long lines. So if you want to avoid all that, then go during a weekday that they're open. It will be very slow. And of course I know, because I go on weekdays after school. My dad brings me and my brother, and we go after school, and so we know how it feels on a weekday compared to a weekend. So what time to get there? So if you go in the mornings, there is a pretty decent crowd trying to get in and go to the rides early. But, well, if you're trying to experience all the shows and stuff that are during the daytime and during the afternoon, then you should go if you're there to experience that. But if you're just here for the rides, I would say, okay, depending on what time they close. So sometimes they close at 6 o'clock, and they can close latest to 10. They close at 6 o'clock. I would get there around 3 if you're going for the rides. Go for 3. Ride rides for 3 hours, and the lines won't be down because everyone's leaving at the end. If they're closing at 10, I would say go around 5 or 6. And because if they're usually closing at 10, you would want to get there earlier, because the lines are longer whenever they close at 10 because it's a lot busier because people are wanting to stay there till nighttime. And usually when they're open later, it's during summer nights, which means they have a summer drone show, or it's during Christmas and they have the Christmas lighting, the Christmas tree lighting, or if it's during fall, they have all these shows and crafts. So if it's open later, usually it's busier. What time to leave? So if you're getting there earlier, I would recommend leaving there around 3. And if you want to, you can come back around like 6. If it's open till 10. But if it's open till 6, I would get there at 11 and leave at, I guess, 3. Yeah, 3 or 4 maybe. And that is it for like what times to get there, what time of the year and stuff. Okay, so now we know what time to get there. Now we just have to talk about parking. So, you can buy a parking pass. In the parking pass, you get parking that's closer up to the front than all the rest. All the preferred parking's in the back. There is VIP parking, which is all the way up the front, right next to the entrance. And also, there is handicap parking that's right next to the VIP parking by the entrance. And if you need to, you can also drop people off and then go park. And then they have trams and buses that will transport you from one of the bus stops or the tram stops all the way to the front. And they have 7 parking lots. And so on a really busy day, a lot of them can be filled up. So you can park in the back, but the trams will bring you right to the front. It might take a little bit to get there, but if you're not trying to spend more money on parking, then you can just use the free trams that are there to go up to the front. Okay, great. Now you found parking. So now you go in and we're looking at tickets. So tickets are kind of a hard one for me because like I'm still not old enough where I don't know how a lot of stuff works still. And so I do know that a 1-day ticket is good, but you can also upgrade your tickets to a 2-day ticket. And I think that's a lot better if you go for 2 days instead of 1, because there's so much to do in 1 day. You need to go for 2 almost. When we went to Dollywood in Tennessee, it was almost like experiencing Silver City all over again for the first time. We went for 2 days, and it was the perfect thing, because we went for the first day, and we didn't get to experience everything. And we went to a second day, and we got everything we wanted to do, but we still didn't do everything that they had to offer. So, if you're looking to do everything, I would say 3 to 4 days at the park. Or, of course, you can upgrade to a season pass. A season pass is good for the whole Silver City season. And with the season pass, you can add on a parking pass, which I talked about earlier, a Trailblazer, which we'll talk about later. There is a silver pass, like a season pass, and that's like the regular, a silver season pass, which will get you some discounts on some food. A gold pass will get you some discounts on merchandise too. And if you get the diamond pass, you get merchandise, you get a lot of discounts on everything that they have to offer in the park. And so that's pretty good a deal. If you go all the time, it's worth getting a season pass instead of just buying 1-day tickets every time you go there. You should get a season pass. And they also have refillable mugs, VIP mugs that last throughout the whole year. And they also have popcorn buckets and cotton candy buckets that last for the whole year too. Okay, you made your way into your park. You got your ticket. Now, the hard part. The rides. So, the rides. You could buy a Trailblazer pass, which is a skip the line pass that will work on any ride. But there are some restrictions. On the new dark ride, Fire in the Hole, you can only use it once per day. And that is also including the Mystic River Falls, the River Rapids ride. And the Trailblazer does not work at Marvel Cave, which is the cave they have in park. So if you have little kids like toddlers, or maybe even some babies, the best areas to go are Fireman's Landing and the Grand Exposition. Now, the Fireman's Landing is one of the newer areas. Well, okay, I say newer, but it came out like 10 years ago. But so you go to the right, and there is a hot air balloon ride that just spins around. There's also a little wagon that just goes up and down and up and down. It spins. There is lucky dogs that just go in a circle and they bounce a little bit. There is the little swings, the fireman's flyers, and they're just little carousel swings. There is up the ladder, which is a little drop tower that's like mini. And the one ride that's in that area that is not for little kids is Firefall, which is a launched hydraulic launch, and it shoots you up and you shoot up again, and then that's it basically. You shoot up and you drop down, shoot up and you drop down. It's a hydraulic launch drop tower. And in the back of Fireman's Landing is Fire in the Hole. It is the newest ride at Silver Dollar City. It is a dark ride based on the history of Fire in the Hole, and it is a dark ride based on the history of Silver Dollar City, and that one is not for much as the babies, but maybe the toddlers and some of the older kids you have in your family. And so now making your way, if you go to Fireman's Landing, you can go through the new plaza area and go straight next to Grand Exposition. Now, Grand Exposition is the other kid area, where they have these little racing boats that go really fast. They have little elephants. It's kind of like Dumbo. They have a rocking ship. They have a rotating disc. They have teacups. They have a mini kid coaster, junior coaster. They have these little frogs that bounce. Ladybugs go in a circle. They have these butterflies and caterpillars that fly in the air. They have a swinging carousel, which is the huge swings that spin. And that's all the rides for that area. And that's for all the little kids. But now we can talk about what rides are for the bigger kids. So, they have 7 roller coasters on park. One of them is Fire in the Hole, as we talked about, and another one is the little kid coaster. So if you're just including those, there's 5 big roller coasters. We're going to start off with Thunderation, which is an Aero mine train coaster. And it is a good starter for the kids, but I will say it is very shaky and getting, it's really showing its age, and is most likely being shut down soon. So if you have good memories, or if you want your kids to experience that ride for one last time, you should go there first. And sometimes it shuts down midday, so you would want to go there first. Another one of their coasters that doesn't go upside down, like Thunderation does not go upside down. It's just a mine train coaster that's bumpy and rattly. They also have a hydraulic launch coaster, and it is Powder Keg. Powder Keg's a wonky ride. It's just a regular, it's a regular premiere ride. Sorry. It's a regular SNS launch ride. But there is some wonky parts to it. But that one does not go upside down, but it does go really fast. It has a launch that is, in 0.2 seconds or something. No, sorry. In 2 seconds, it launches you from 1 to 63 miles an hour up a hill. And it just launches you straight, and then you go up the hill, and then you do the rest of the ride. So that's a ride to do after Thunderation. So after you're done with Thunderation and Powder Keg, you are basically good enough to do one of the upside down rides. The one I would start with is Wildfire, which is a B&M hypercoaster that opened up in 2001, and it is a smooth, not floorless coaster, sorry, it's a smooth sit-down coaster, 4 rows across, or there's 8 rows, 4 seats, and it's just a smooth ride. There's beautiful views, and you're going through the trees and stuff, and that's my favorite ride there. And so once you do Wildfire, then you can make your way down to Time Traveler, which is a mock spinning, extreme spinning coaster that is pretty intense. You're going on a regular roller coaster and you're spinning and making all these 0G rolls and stuff, and as you're doing it, you're spinning the whole time. But it's not like this kind of spinning. It's not like a regular like spinning coaster that just spins the whole time. It's like it's controlled. There's like magnets, and like it's like controlled spin the whole time. So it almost just feels like you're like floating through space and you're flying or whatever. And once you do that ride, you can finally do the last ride, or last big roller coaster, which is Outlaw Run, which is Silver Dollar City's Woody, their wooden roller coaster that opened up in 2013 by Rocky Mountain Construction. It's very intense. I'm just gonna say that. It's very, very intense. It goes so fast. It's done in like 13 seconds. You're going so fast. And, you hit the bottom of the hill really hard. There's a pothole at the bottom. And, it's very intense. I would not bring little kids on that unless they did the other ones first. I would not start off with Outlaw Run, which is the one I started off with. And so if you do Outlaw Run, you can do all the other ones. Like, I swear, it's like crazy. Like, once you do that one, you're gonna ride all of them and be like, wow, Outlaw Run was crazy. Like, nothing else compares to that one in the park. Well, now I'm gonna talk about the best seats on each ride. For airtime, I'm gonna talk about airtime for each ride. Airtime for Powder Keg, 7th and 8th row. Airtime for Wildfire, 7th and 8th row. Airtime for Thunderation, no airtime. Airtime for Outlaw Run, I would say 9, 10, 11, 12. You do get airtime in the front rows too. Front 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you're in the middle of Outlaw Run, there's not really airtime. Airtime for Time Traveler, 7th and 8th row for sure. Well, I guess 6th, 7th, and 8th row. Yeah. And that's really all the airtime stuff. Now, if you want the smoothest seats, Wildfire, 1st and 2nd row. That's the smoothest seats on Wildfire. Powder Keg, smoothest, 7th and 8th row. Powder Keg, all the odd seats. But it's like all the even seats, they have wheels under them, so it makes the ride bumpier. So if you want a smooth ride on Outlaw Run, be on one of the odd seats. My preferred seat, if you really don't want any bumpiness or any headache, row 7. Row 7 is the way to go. Row 7, 5, or you can also do 9 if you really want to. But 7 is the best one. It's right in the middle. It's smooth. Smoothest row for Thunderation. There's not really any smooth, but I guess the 2 front rows. But I don't want to say that because then you guys might go in the front row and then be like, that was awful. So there's not really any smooth seats on Thunderation. I'm just going to say that. Time Traveler, smoothest 1, 2. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Now, if you're looking for the most G-Force, Outlaw Run, 11 and 12 in the very back. Wildfire, most Air Force 1 and 2. Sorry, not Air Force, G-Force. I don't know why I said Air Force. And the most G-Force for Powder Keg, 7 and 8, for sure, in the very back. On the launch, you get the most G-Force ever. And most G-Force on Thunderation. There's no G-Force on Thunderation. I mean, actually, the back row, I guess, has some G-Force on it in some parts. Mostly on the last drop, the last big drop. And most G-Force on Time Traveler, the back 2 rows, 7 and 8. Okay, so now you know all the roller coasters. Now we can talk about the dark rides. Dark rides, Silver City has 2, which is Fire in the Hole, which is a indoor roller coaster that's a family coaster like we talked about earlier. Good for the whole family. Like if you're really old or really young, it's like the best ride and all in between. And the second dark ride they have there is Flooded Mine, which is a shooting boat ride. You shoot targets and prisoners that are in a mine that is flooding. So you ride in these boats, 5 people per boat, and there's 5 boats. And so you just go through the ride, and you have guns, and you shoot the targets. And so besides the dark rides, there's also other rides that are like the Steam Train, which is good for anyone. It can be loud sometimes. There is a show in the middle of the train, in the middle of the train ride. Not gonna spoil it though, because that's just annoying if I spoiled it. What other rides do they have? I'm trying to think, because there's a lot of rides they have. They do have, was the water rides, which they have American Plunge, which is their log flume, which isn't intense to the last drop, and that's basically it. So it's good for little kids. Mystic River is the tallest river rapids in the Midwest, in the Western Hemisphere. Has a huge drop, and you get soaking wet on that ride. And River Blast is their water cannon shooter ride. It's pretty long, actually. And you get soaked on that one too. I think that's pretty much it for the rides. Yeah. If you have any questions about any of the stuff I talked about, also, you can just comment at the bottom of the video. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the rides, wait times. Which ones have the most wait times? So the most wait times are usually Outlaw Run, Powder Keg, and Time Traveler. And the least are Thunderation, Wildfire, and the Little Kid Coaster. Fire in the Hole also has really long lines. So the Trailblazers, you can only use once on Fire in the Hole, which I would recommend using Trailblazer on Fire in the Hole. Also use your Trailblazer on Time Traveler and Outlaw Run. The rest, Wildfire, you can wait, because you usually have 2 trains going and it's fast. Powder Keg is a different story. You can wait for Trailblazers, but the Trailblazer line is usually so long, because the real line's so long. So you can use your Trailblazers on that. Yeah, just use your Trailblazers on Powder Keg. Don't use Trailblazers on Wildfire, because it goes by fast. Trailblazers on Outlaw Run for sure, because that ride takes so long to get on. I'm just going to say it takes so long to get on. Same with Time Traveler. It takes so long. Like, it feels like time goes by so slow in those lines. But there is cool stuff to look at in the line for Time Traveler. Outlaw Run, I mean, they have pretty decent queue, but there isn't that much theming in the queue. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Trailblazers. You shouldn't use Trailblazers on any of the kid rides. Just wait for the kid rides. It's not worth it. Just use it for a big ride. Okay, so now you know everything about every single ride at the park. But now you're feeling kind of hungry. So let's talk about the food. So the cheapest way to feed your whole family is Crossroads Pizza, which they also do have healthy options. They have a lot of options in that restaurant. It is the cheapest, really, to feed your whole family, but it's expensive, but it's the cheapest, if you know what I mean. It can get really expensive if you're feeding a huge family, but that's what me and my family do whenever we come during Christmas with all of our family. We usually just go there. But if you're looking for best tasting, the Smokehouse has really good food. Also, the Lumber Camp, which is by Powder Keg. What else has good food? I'm trying to think. They have really good skillets there. If you're looking for breakfast, best breakfast food is Molly's Mill up at the front. Best lunch food, the Smokehouse. Best dinner food, Crossroads Pizza. Now, dessert is a different thing to talk about. Now, desserts, they have so many good desserts. They have Delilah's Bakery, that's up at the front. They have the cinnamon bread. They have a lot of whoopie pies. They have ice cream, funnel cakes, fried Oreos. They have all of it. Kettle corn, soft serve ice cream. They have all of it. And all of it's really good. So, yeah. And with that, you know how to plan your trip for Silver Dollar City next time you come. And if this video was very helpful, please send this to everyone that you know is going to Silver Dollar City, or if they know they're going to plan a trip, or even if they don't know about Silver Dollar City, you can send them this video, and you can tell them to check out my channel, because I talk about Silver Dollar City, and you can learn about the history, you can learn about all the rides. Yeah, so if this video was helpful in any way, please subscribe, leave a like, comment anything I missed out, or if you have any confusion about, I can either make a new video about it, or I'll just reply to your comment. And that's about it. So Braxton is out.